Hey guys, Fat Buddy Cat here. I just want to take a minute to talk to you about a company that you might not think about all the time. You know, maybe you should. And I'm going to tell you why. They're an American company, guys, out of Sarasota, Florida. They have 6 employees, and they work hard to provide great products. And I want to show you some of the products that I've used in the past that you may or may not be aware of. Okay? When it comes to mini bikes, a lot of us, we tend to have our bigger brands that we go to for our high performance needs, and all the flashy things that make our bikes go and make them stop safely. All right? But sometimes we need stock parts too. Or sometimes we need parts that we can learn on. Or sometimes we just don't need high performance parts. Okay? But we need parts, guys. And when we want parts, we might as well get the best ones we can for our money. Alright? I'm going to show you some of the parts that I use from Everest Part Supplies. Over here, some of you guys might not know what these are, and some of you might know what they are. Those are 196 heads, guys. Clones, GX200s. Where'd these come from? Ah! Alright. So these little screamers over here, with their CS cams and 22-pound springs and billet rods and billet flywheels and whatnot. What's going on in the head? These both have Everest 14cc heads, guys. Alright? There's one right there. And there's the other one right there. Okay, I didn't do anything to these heads. I just used them to build a little bit of compression on my top end, alright? I've been smashing on these for a good amount of a year, and I haven't had any issues, guys. Alright? So, just an example, alright? An even better example. This bad boy right here. Honda GX160, right? On the inside. What happened here, guys? I started this motor with a Honda 163 QX2 case. And after building the motor with the short skirt piston and the long rod and the flywheel and the Honda head and the springs and everything, guys, I was left with a leaking motor. I had seepage behind the flywheel coming out of the side of the block because I didn't know, enough to really check. And I was using a used motor. So I started to look around at my best options. Well, I found Everest Part Supplies. And for under $200, I was able to buy a sealed block, what they call would be a long block. They had the head on it too, guys. Alright? Springs, valves, everything there. Alright? It just didn't have any of the exterior stuff on it. The case was closed, ready to go, literally. Well, I opened it up and I got to looking at the parts, guy. Could the castings be a little better on some things? Maybe. But when I got inside and I started looking, I expected, a cam with a plastic gear. That didn't happen. I expected, cheaper internals. Really not the factor at all. Okay? So I ended up keeping the crank. So this has the Everest crankcase, the Everest crank, okay? Everything else is ARC, dyno cams, and OMB. You know, there's a lot of different parts in this motor, and it is held together fine. It doesn't leak oil. It doesn't burn oil. It doesn't. I don't have any problems with the cylinder. I haven't dropped the oil and found metal chunks in it. You know, I've been really impressed with it. You know, it's, you know, is it a full out, you know, race motor per se? Maybe not, but I'm a heavy guy. I've worn out 2 clutches, a belt. You know, this thing has seen some action. This tire back here is just about worn out. That thing's got all kinds. I mean, look at the scarring in that tire. Okay, guys, you don't get scarring on a tire like that from spinning it slow. So, you know, and that's at the right PSI. So it just tells you, you know, these things can handle. Sometimes when you're in a bind, you got to think a little bit. Now, what else did I get for that, guys? I got an extra piston. I got an extra cam. I got all kinds of extra parts. All right, whether I don't even think I used them. I ended up giving them to somebody else, but they got used. Okay. This is another great item. All right, $36, guys. That's what this is going to cost. What I'm about to show you. All right. Now, there's other companies you can use to buy these. You can pay a little bit less, and with Everest, they offer free shipping over $100, guys. All right. Now, it's kind of hard to spend $100 because they offer really good prices. It's kind of easy to spend $100 because you're going to get a lot for your money. All right. So this is the best way you can spend $36. Especially if you're a weekender. You're a weekend warrior, guys. Maybe you have a stock bike, maybe a modified bike, but you're going to go out and you're going to have some fun. And when we have fun, things break down. It's the curse of owning a mini bike, guys. You got to keep fixing them and maintaining them, all right? Either that, or you just got to build them really, really, really strong. Well, here's some really good parts. Starter, recoil, guys. Not a cheaper one, all right? You can feel the weight on this, all right? This has the little bit better spring mechanism, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, there it is. So we got a starter. If you have a stock air box, you know, you got this bad boy. You know, the old paper one there. You know, you can get this sweet foam pre-filter. That's not a pre-filter, guys. But you see what I'm saying? Something could go wrong. You could get something up behind your fan shroud, screw up your coil. You could break a wire somehow. Maybe this goes bad. But right here, guy, here's a Clone Coil. All right, this isn't a 5,000 limited coil or anything. This is a straight up 168F Clone Coil. All right, these are on Predators. These are on GX 160s, GX 200s, probably close to what the one is on the 223. These things are on everything, guys. All right, but it's pretty clean. And again, I mean, you can. Some products, guys, I'm telling you, when you get the better of a low-end product, or the better, I should say, when you have a series of product in a certain price range, right? When you're dealing with aftermarket parts, you know, you have your OEM parts, and then you have a series of parts as it drops down. The same thing happens with automotive parts, all right, guys? This is like maybe the next step down from OEM, you know what I mean? These guys, this is what they do, okay? This is what these guys are about. So they're not gonna beat you up with a bad product, all right? And I'm gonna show you even better. You know, this is just a regular, you know, fuel line, that's all. but you got it, all right? So we already have some spark, some fuel, some start, okay? Okay. Might not be a handlebar model, guys, but look, it's a kill switch, all right? And it's not a real cheapy either, all right? You can feel it, again, it's got the little bit thicker wires. It's got some nice connectors on it, all right? I mean, even I've seen these made cheaper. I've seen them where they don't even complete the circle before. All right, new carb insulator. Smooth. Again, back to the spark, brand new spark plug. See why this is like a mini bike first aid kit, guys? You know, this is obviously just a filter that goes inside your gas tank. All right, but it's something to have. Bad gas happens. Here we have the hardware. All right, I believe to hold this coil starter on, and these might be for holding the coil on, but those are there. Here's something you don't see in these kits a lot, guys. A gas cap. Okay? A nicely wrapped one, too. Alright? With the big rubber seal under it. Very simple in design, alright? But if your gas cap, if you lose one, guys, you better have one, alright? Oil sensor. I mean, we might not use it, but guess who does? Me. Alright? I fix things all the time that need to have oil sensors, guys. The same with this, alright? So, even if, like, these were the things I was using on the mini bike, you know what I mean? Now we have these little extra parts over here, too. A nice set of gaskets. Alright? These aren't like the knockoff 20 packs that you see on Amazon for like $3 or $4, and you know, you think you're on top of the world, and then you get them. All right, these are gonna work every time. These are great. All right, we know this goes to something, right? Now this is the piece I like. Okay, guys. Here's a carburetor, stock carburetor, right? Boom. What do we got here? It's an adjustable carburetor. This is a non-EPA carburetor. This is an SPD carburetor, guys. Alright? This is not a bad thing to have. A designed in Japan SPD carburetor, alright? Man, I would jet these things and run these on my mini bike. Okay? All day. Alright? I have another brand that I happen to stick with because it works, and I'm nuts. I keep everything the same. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. This is a nice product, alright? They don't go cheap on this. They don't go cheap on any of their stuff, really. You're going to get the best you can for the money. But that's not all. There's more. Boom! Right there, guys. You also get the oil, okay? So, 36 bucks, that might get you out of the woods and get you through the weekend, maybe a little bit more. All right? So these are just some parts, guys, that I want to tell you about and maybe get you to think about. You know, they have a lot more than this, guys, all right? So why don't you do yourselves a favor, when you have some free time, just go over there and check them out. Okay? I appreciate it. I'm sure they will too. You have a good day, guys, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.